Just lost Josh Gardner at 700 yards. Not Brady's fault. You think this team misses Gordon today, or that wouldn't have mattered because of the game plan?
No, I think they're gonna miss him moving forward. Definitely. I mean, today, like I said, it was all about game plan, but
Right.
they're definitely gonna miss him moving forward. But he's battling with demons that he's got to try to figure out.
Yeah, for sure. Sad story. That whole thing's real sad.
This is what I've said before. We can all sit here and go, I'm on a bet. We all got people that know somebody or whatever that has issues they're dealing with. But
Definitely.
You as a person, you have to somehow, some way, one of my best friends dealt with it, find something in you to say, I do not want to do this no more. I choose life over death. I choose a life and living over drugs, alcohol, and whatever it is, and then get that help that you need to ultimately, get to a point in your life where you can rehabilitate and you can, because for every sad story that we see two positive stories about people who have came through it and who have, been this, sober for 15, 20 years and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. I feel like with football players in particular, I mean, you could probably speak to this, but like just the cocktail you got to take to get on the field sometimes when you got, when you got injuries of legal things, like legal stuff that you're allowed to take.
Well, my thing is this, and I understand everybody, but I understand everybody's mental makeup is different, but
right.
There are plenty of people like, and we heard about the stories of where Josh Gordon grew up, and we heard about those things. There are plenty of people that have grown up in, environments that are a lot worse or is very similar, and that, didn't end up going down that road. So, and I understand it's all about the mental makeup, but I generally am not going to necessarily say use that as like a crutch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think if you are addicted to something, you have to get to a point in your life, and clearly he's not there, where you have to say, like I said, living is more important than getting high or getting drunk or whatever it is every day. And he's clearly not that at that point, because he's ultimately choosing, if he tested positive for something, he's ultimately electing or choosing to say, okay, that is more important than me, creating a life for my kids, for my family, for myself. And I think that's when you're talking about addicts, that's what they have to get. They have to get to a point in their life where they have to say, I can't continue to do this to myself no more.
Yeah.
And it's got to come. It's got to come with the support and cast around you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to ultimately say that this is what I need to do.
Yeah. It starts there. Even if you have a great support system, sometimes that's not enough. It's got to be you. Yeah. Doesn't seem like he was ready. I mean, he probably shouldn't have been playing this year. But you know what? He did get reinstated. Like he had to get sober to get reinstated, right? So he did it once.
Right. So I think you make a great point. Like he wasn't ready, and like I said, for me, I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna like. I feel bad for him as a guy and what he's going through, but I'm not gonna make excuses for some of his actions. He has to take some type of culpability on himself and say, you know what? This is my problem. I can't kick it. I can't shake it, whatever it is. I need to do X, Y, and Z. Maybe I'm not at that point yet. So I think that's the biggest thing. And I think people are very sensitive nowadays. We live in this sensitive world where if you say that, hey, this guy is making a choice to choose that, drugs and alcohol over playing football, people are so like, oh my God, why you have no compassion? You have this, that, they're quick to get all up in a tizzy. But no, I think, and I saw a lot of people on social media, a lot of former addicts that have recovered say that their biggest thing is that they ultimately made this choice to, put those drugs in their body or whatever it is, because we don't really know what it is. And they have to, and they made it a point that they had to tell themselves that I can't do this or that kind of thing. And I think there's, because then people start talking about mental health, and I think there are people who deal with certain things. I kind of see these two even though they are intertwined, I kind of see them as like, you know, two separate entities. But at the end of the day, he has to look himself in the mirror and, you know, say to himself like, yo, I want to live. Forget about playing football. I need to live. And if I can do this, the likelihood of me living, it starts to go down very drastically. So I think that's ultimately what it is.